I made my first speech on the floor about 2 weeks ago, and it was a speech that was kind of a plea. It was a plea to avoid the economic self-inflicted wound of sequester. And as all knows, we were not able to do that at the time. There were two bills, and neither of which were able to get sufficient votes to move forward. And the negative consequences from that sequester have been felt in the Commonwealth as I've traveled around, whether it's WARN notices to ship repairers in the Hampton Roads area, planned furloughs of DoD civilian employees, or a delay in a carrier deployment that could potentially leave us more vulnerable in the Middle East. But the good news is we can fix it and improve it, and the Appropriations Committee's work discussed today is a way to begin to do that. We have a chance to get it right and to reduce the negative effects of sequester by dealing effectively with the expiring CR for fiscal year 2013 and then producing a pro-growth 2014 budget. A true appropriations approach to the remainder of FY13 fixes many of the DoD problems that I outlined earlier. So, for example, it will allow us to go forward on the shipbuilding contract to construct the second Ford-class carrier, the USS John F. Kennedy. That will be wonderful news for our defense and wonderful news to the shipyard that is the largest private employer in Virginia. It will allow us to move forward on significant ship refurbishment and repair contracts. The repair and refueling of USS Roosevelt and the USS Lincoln were delayed as a result of uncertainty about the budget, but the work this committee is doing will enable us to move forward. We will be able to not completely eliminate the operations and maintenance deficits, but at least to make moves among various accounts to mitigate the effect of the O&M deficit, and that will be across service branches. And just last Friday, as I left the Senate and drove back to my home in Richmond, I stopped and did an economic development tour with a contractor in the Fredericksburg area that works on robotics projects for all of the service branches. And they talked about the fact that the CR was really putting a crimp in their planned expansions, their ability to hire students who are graduating from engineering programs around Virginia and around the nation this fall. The CR fix going forward will give this company and so many others some certainty that will enable them to do the work that we need to do and also help expand employment. Other agencies have a similar upside from the fix of this FY13 CR. So while there are real and significant differences, and we will lay those on the table and debate them with vigor over the next few days and weeks, the American public will see this process unfold. They expect us to debate, listen, find reasonable compromises. We've seen some, just in the last few days, Madam President, I guess I'll conclude and say this. We've seen some recent positive economic news. The jobs report Friday, some of the news about housing, the stock market. There are some positive economic trends that are starting to develop. Congress can accelerate these trends. Congress can accelerate the improvement of the American economy if we keep taking these reasonable steps forward to find a responsible budgetary path. And this work on the CR bill to find an appropriations path for the remainder of the year is one of those positive steps, and I applaud the committee leadership for doing so.